Hello guys, it's Lucas, the Transformers Blitzwing fan here, and today I am back with another retrospective. After doing Bumblebee's retrospective already, I think it's time to do an update. So, this is the updated retrospective of the little yellow Autobot, the scout spy for the Autobots, Bumblebee. Now, the original Bumblebee toy started out in 1983, and it transformed into a Volkswagen Beetle. Then, supported by Hasbro in 1984 to become one of the first year of the Transformers toy line. Bumblebee was very characterized as the little yellow Autobot who acted as the Autobot scout and spy for spy missions. And basically, it was his friendship with Spike Witwicky having a human allies with Spike Witwicky. And throughout the very beginning of the show and throughout its first two seasons, Bumblebee would always be there for his spy missions. And Bumblebee was a main part of the cast. He remained a part of its cast throughout its first two seasons. And then this earned Bumblebee's role into the 1986 film Transformers G1 the movie. His toy was not discontinued in 1986, which allowed him to survive in the Transformers G1 movie. Him and Spike survived being eaten by Unicron and then later rescued by Daniel. And however, Bumblebee would make more appearances into Season 3 and all that. But unfortunately, you guys, Bumblebee's toy was discontinued in 1987. But instead of just retiring the character, they did something else. This might be a little different, you guys, but probably might surprise some people. Bumblebee was upgraded and reformatted by one of the alien Quintessons into a Throttlebot named Goldbug. But Goldbug didn't get too much to do throughout the series because Season 4 would be canceled into Transformers G1 series. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was introduced into the 2007 first Transformers live-action movie. But then this changed the way that fans had saw the character. This also went along with the decision to make Bumblebee mute. And they say, you guys, that the reason why the film writers decided to do this is because they believe that the robot should not talk at all. So basically, he communicated by using a radio and audio through that. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for the Transformers animated series. This version of Bumblebee still acting as the Kid Appeal character who also had a human ally friend. He friended Sorry Sumdak and all that. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for the 2010's Transformers Prime animated series. This version of Bumblebee was very good but acted more like a warrior than a scout. And this version of Bumblebee was also muted, and like his movie counterpart, Megatron ripped his voice box out. But the young Autobot was saved by Ratchet, but with the damaged voice box leaving him unable to speak but only communicating with beeps and buzzes. Then later on into the third season, he got a new color scheme which looked like this. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for the 2015's Transformers Robots in Disguise series. And eventually, this version of Bumblebee, he would have his own team to lead in this series. But unlike the other previous versions, this version of Bumblebee was not muted. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for 2016's Transformers Rescue Bots animated series. This version of Bumblebee looked kind of good, but unlike his previous version, he was muted once again. Then, the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for the 2018's Transformers Cyberverse animated series. This version of Bumblebee was awesome, but looked more like a muscle car more than a Camaro. But unfortunately, you guys, this version and decision of Bumblebee becoming muted would also repeat itself in this series. But unlike his past versions, Megatron was responsible for ripping out the Autobot Scout's voice box. Then the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for this version of Bumblebee in having his own solo movie in 2018. This version of Bumblebee, he was sent to Earth by Optimus Prime after the battle on Cybertron to protect humans. However, he would fight a Decepticon Seeker named Blitzwing. And however, you guys, Bumblebee would lose his voice box at the hands of Blitzwing, and then later on, defeating him. Then, the very next version of Bumblebee was developed for 2020's Netflix series War for Cybertron Trilogy. This version of Bumblebee kind of bringing back his familiar G1 look, but kind of looked incredibly different, but not as an Autobot, but as a survivor. And then later on, he finally joins his allegiance to the Autobots. And then finally, the very last version of Bumblebee was developed for the new movie Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This version of Bumblebee kind of bringing back his familiar old Camaro car mode from that first live-action movie. And Bumblebee in this version was also muted, but would still use his radio for communication. But unfortunately, later on, you guys, Bumblebee was fighting the Terracons, including Scourge, helping out Optimus Prime. However, Bumblebee would sacrifice his very existence trying to save his leader, Optimus Prime, by being sliced in the chest by Scourge, and then permanently zapped by a blast, and permanently destroyed and killed. And I know what you guys are thinking, that's it, Bumblebee is dead, he's done, he's never gonna appear again. But then, a miracle happened, you guys. By the end of this movie, Bumblebee was resurrected later on by, a powered energon that he was laying on. Well, anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that bell for notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And peace, y'all. Peace.